Wow. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, guys. Come in, come in, come in, come in, come in, come in. You're so welcome. Come in. I'm just setting up my live on Facebook. Yeah, and now I'm live on Facebook. Good evening, my Facebook fam. Good evening. Come on right in. And hey, guys, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're watching from. My YouTube family. I'm so excited because nowadays I get to stream live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time, and I think it's growth. So yeah, good evening to you all, guys. My name is FifiRich. I am a makeup artist and an inspirator. I'm so happy to be here, and if you are joining my broadcast for the first time, please just go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Kindly subscribe, and once you do, hit the bell button to know when I upload new videos. You guys, I'm so excited to be here today, just to be on Mary Who's Ready once again. And this is such a delight and a pleasure of a program. I love it so much because I believe that this forms part of my personal development and yours as well. So without wasting much time, you guys, today we're going to be talking about why children need parents. I'm expecting a guest or two, so they haven't confirmed if they're gonna be here. But if they're not gonna be able to come on, I think we'll just have the conversation. So welcome, 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 and please, once you're here, just feel free to share the broadcast. It might help somebody. It really might help somebody. Remember that Mary Who's Ready is a program that this is hot, guys. This is a bit hard. I don't really do wigs that much, so this was just something to kind of surprise you guys and give you something to enjoy viewing. But yeah, if you guys know Mary Who's Ready, or for those that don't and are gonna come across it for the first time, Mary Who's Ready is a program that deals with all things premarital issues and premarital readiness, marriage issues and relationship dynamics. That's really what Mary Who's Really is. And it's a talk show type of program where we have conversations with married people. So please just always feel free to come on in, and whenever you feel like you have something to say, insights to share, just jump right in, because usually I'll share a link and then you can join in through the link and we can do this together. So thank you so much for being on here, you guys. Um what built up to this segment, onto this topic? It was an inspiration that came with Mary Who's Ready, why a man needs God, and then Mary Who's Ready, why a woman needs a man, and then now we're dealing with Mary Who's Ready, why children need parents. You see how it is? And so these topics came at the same time. It was just like a string of topics, so I have to deal with them in chronological order, and I pray that God will give me the grace to handle this well and according to how He would want me to. So, why do children need parents? I remember my own childhood story. I come from a background of divorce. My parents divorced when I was really little. So I remember that I grew up without my dad, basically, but he's alive. I mean, we are close, we love each other like crazy. He's my friend. He's, that guy that a girl, would always want to have around. So that's my dad. He's my friend, my dad, my everything, you know. But then we never had the privilege of living together, unfortunately, because, they broke up with my mom when I was really little. I literally have no memory whatsoever of my parents being together as a married couple. And so that had severe effects on me as a child. That really affected my childhood. It affected the person of who I am so much. It had spiritual negative implications. It had, I think, even physical. I want to claim that when a child grows up, when parents have divorced and when they have witnessed the parents going through all that, the tension, the fights, the arguments, and the issues, it really kind of has a negative effect even on the child physically. It can also be mental, and psychological as well, emotional. It just about kills the child, except they are alive. And sometimes the child might actually be more affected than the parents themselves. So you really want to get it right in the area of marriage. You don't have to rush into something you're not so sure about and then find yourself having to separate when you now have children. So it's something you really want to look into, and don't take this for granted. It pains me when I see people divorcing, especially when there's children involved. Really, I don't like to see that. And I now understand why God hates divorce, because I went through the aftermath. I grew up dealing with the aftermath. I just had a childhood that was very stressed. I had a childhood where I was managing. I was just managing. I was managing stress, depression, oppression spiritually also, because you see, when you're a child and your father is taken away from you, a father, one of the things that they do in the home is they come and offer covering. They are a covering to the house. And so when your father is taken away from you, there is this covering that is stripped off of you, and like the term husband says, or means house band, so somebody to keep the house together. And so that's been one of the dynamics. But I really want to say is the effect are so intense on the child. I remember I was dealing with this, like, pretty much, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Okay, somebody has sent a message. So what I'll do, just hold on, please. I'm just gonna try and invite them over so that if uh, they can actually just come. Yeah, I think if she could join us, it would be good. All right. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Yeah. So the thing is, it had so much of an effect on me. I mean, my parents divorced as a child, that I grew up feeling like I was to blame. I felt like maybe I had a role in this. I had a hand in the divorce of my parents. And these are things that people don't really tell you. This is just a truth that goes on in the child's mind. Okay, so when you're growing up, you're around 6 years old. Apparently, psychologically, it's also proven that the child can grow up feeling a sense of guilt, like my parents may have divorced because I came into the situation. Had I not been born, maybe my parents would be together by now. So these are some of the issues that come with divorce. These are some of the effect it has on a child's life. And I remember when I was like, I think 24 one time, 24 years old, imagine 24 years old of dealing and just going through the motions and just managing a wounded heart, a bleeding soul. Okay. When one time I was home and I was living in Hansi, in a place called Hansi, with my mom. And I remember God, one day I was alone in the house and I heard a voice say, "It was not your fault." And you know something? That was the game changer for me. That was when now I felt a lifting of a burden, and I felt so light in my spirit, in my heart. So imagine what more about all those young adults or adults that grow up with the aftermath of parents' divorce, and they never really got to get help, because the only help you can get is God, honestly speaking. No amount of therapy can help, totally. It can help to repair you to become a wholesome person that God had designed you to be until you encounter Him. So I'm just wondering, what more about children that never get to have God speak to them about this? What more about people that go into adulthood that never get to hear God saying anything, just a word concerning this thing that will heal them and heal them permanently? And so this is one of the things that I ask myself, and I pray that if you are one of the people that are going through what I have been through before, may God comfort you and may He visit you with a word in this very season of your life. Okay, so you need to understand that when you're a child, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are on the wrong when your parents break up. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's your fault when your parents have to get a divorce. It really doesn't. So you don't have to live your life blaming yourself. So I grew up without a dad. Basically, a dad who's alive but distant. I think it's just as good as not having a dad, because you still need a relationship, a bond, a vibe. Yeah. But I used to visit like on the holidays a lot of the time, just or sometimes on the weekend and yeah, things like that. But it wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. A child always needs that closeness with the father, with the parents. So it wasn't really enough just to visit sometimes. There was always a longing there. But really my dad is not here. There's always that void that will, continue to survive in the soul, in the heart of the child. So growing up without a father. Hmm. And we're dealing with Mary who is already. Do you see the link? If you get it wrong in marriage, you can deny a child the privilege and the right to grow up with both parents in a normal homestead. I'll say the privilege because it's a blessing, and I also say the right because that's how God ordained it. God designed for every child to be raised in a wholesome family setting where there's a mother and a father in themselves. God never meant for a father to raise children alone. God never meant either, for God never meant as well for a mother to raise children alone. So neither one, but He meant for the family to be complete. This is why He said, "For this reason shall a man leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one." So the whole idea is parents must be together and parent together, not co-parent in different states of the country or of the world. Okay, so that's just one of the dynamics, and it's really not, it's not easy. So you really want to get it right. This is the link. This is where Mary Who's Ready and single parenting comes in. And I just want to say that anytime we are out of God's order of things and God's original intent of how they should be, there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem. For instance, um, if 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 people break up, they divorce. If you just take the aftermath, the effect of divorce on two individuals who've been married before, just looking at that alone tells you that something is very wrong. Very wrong. You will see things like trauma. You see things like brokenness, a very acute level of brokenness, hopelessness. You see, you're gonna see violence also. It's amazing how two people that just told each other that they loved each other just last night, today can be one another's worst enemies so suddenly because of things like divorce. So you see a lot of violence. So there's no divorce that is born to be beautiful. You cannot throw a party over getting a divorce. It is one of the most excruciating things. I remember what the lady that has once been on the show, the life coach, the other day she told me that divorce is like death, only you're alive. And I could agree because I grew up feeling like that. And she also said, you see, it's like a paper stuck to something and is just stripped off so aggressively and violently. So once a woman gets a divorce, they get divorced, they feel like a part of that identity has been taken away from them. You see, so this is why divorce is just not good. So anytime we are outside of the order of how God would want us to do things or how God would have it, we're bound to have a problem. So the same applies to single parenting. I always say it's very arrogant for a mother to say to that baby daddy, you can go, I'll take care of my children. That's arrogant because you are speaking looking at yourself and the fact that having this man around to co-parent is not going to serve me, but you're ignoring the fact that the children need the father. It's also very ignorant. Today I'm having mind issues. I don't know why. I was asking if I'm pregnant earlier on, but I'm not pregnant. So it's also very arrogant for a father Just hold on, let me see. It's also very arrogant. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Let me just let her know that she can come on in. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's also very arrogant for a father to think that they can leave the mother of his children, and or the mother can leave, he can send her away under whatever circumstances, and he can take care of the children alone. A man is not designed to take care of children alone, to raise kids alone. He needs a woman, a mother. A woman is not designed to raise kids alone. She needs the support of a father, the covering of a father, the provision, the protection of a father. And a mother has to continue there as a nurturer, a support system, the softer support system in the life of the child. And so these are some of the dynamics that we gotta really look into when we are getting married. Let us learn to try and just think future. Let's think about, oh, as much as I'm doing this right now, there really is a future. Let me not just do this because I'm excited by the idea of loving this person. Yeah, it's good to get married because you love each other. But you see, it's always good to also be visionaries and be futuristic, and try and establish if whether this relationship, this marriage will stand the test of time. Does it have longevity? Does it have what it takes for us to arrive? A lifetime journey. Does it take, do we have what it takes to make it, for a lifetime? Sometimes we should just really look at things properly, because if we just marry on the basis of we love one another, I love this guy, he loves me, and if we marry on the basis of the mere excitement of a wedding day, a wedding celebration, we probably have a certain thing coming. We probably have a certain thing coming, because I understand there's a lot more to marriage than just the wedding day. So I understand that a lot of the time people prepare for the wedding day and not necessarily for the marriage. But we probably want to invest more in the marriage part of it than in the wedding day part of it. So that's something to think about. That's something to think about. So yeah, here we are, guys, and we're just now going to look into the issue of children. Children. Why do children sorry guys, sorry. I had my saliva go up my I said my saliva go up my nostril. That's so uncomfortable. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So the first thing that the first reason why children need parents. Okay. Oh, sorry about that, you guys. Wrong transportation, wrong bodily exercise. I feel like, and that feeling you get when you're swimming and you have water go up your nose, it's very uncomfortable. So yeah, that's just a rough moment. I'm sorry about that. So the first reason why children need parents is for nurturing. Okay. Children need, just pardon me because it's hot in here. Children need parents for the nurturing element of it. They need to be nurtured from birth. There's a time in a baby's life, a newborn baby's life. They come from that time to the time they young adults, young adolescents, they need to be nurtured. They need to be wholesomely attended to, because when a child is just born, they are helpless. They have no sense of responsibility, no sense of morality. They have no knowledge on how to take care of themselves. They're not even strong. So they need full-time support. And that's where the nurturing comes in. They need to be fed from the time they're breastfed to the time they transition into eating soft baby food, transition to eating soft vegetables like potatoes, mashed butternut and things like that, to a time where they can now start eating, a bit more hard food, and then ultimately things like meat and so on and so forth. So just from the time a baby is born, they need to be nurtured, and a parent must be available. A parent has to be present. When I say a parent has to be available, they have to be present psychologically. They need to be thinking about what they're doing. They need to be in the moment, paying attention, focusing on this baby of theirs and building a bond. So you cannot build a bond when you're absent, when you're absent-minded. You can't have a relationship when you're absent-minded. You see, so the baby must be nurtured, and the parent must be present emotionally as well, for that emotional connection, that emotional bond. Be able to understand the baby, be able to understand the needs of the baby. When this baby does this, this is what they're communicating. When my baby cries like this is what they mean. Or could it mean they're hungry, or they've done something, or they've messed themselves up, they need a diaper change. Oh, my baby is sick. Oh, this temperature has suddenly changed. So you have to be present and available to notice these things. Otherwise, you won't. It's gonna make for a disturbed relationship with the child. So a child needs a parent for nurturing. So parents, both of them, not just the mother, but parents need to be available for the child, even spiritually as well. A child must be nurtured spiritually from the time they're born, even before they're born. As a matter of fact, they must be prayed for. The prayer aspect should not wait for a child to be born. From the time you're expecting a baby, this is when you want to start firing prayer, because the enemy is out to to kill, to steal, to destroy. Is out to take stars, to steal stars, to kill destinies, to rob babies of their destinies, that God ordained destinies. So we really want to pray as soon as we know, oh, we're expecting a baby. And so even once the baby is born and they're growing, they must be nurtured spiritually. They must know about God. They must know that there is a higher supreme being, the most supreme being actually, who is God. He's to be revered. We have to pray, have a relationship with him, and things like that. They have to grow, go to Sunday school, go to church, just participate spiritually also in activities that empower their spirit, in activities that help them to get somewhere spiritually. So this is very, very, very important, and we cannot take that for granted. So it requires presence, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Be there. The baby must be nurtured physically. It takes, physical presence to breastfeed a baby, but it doesn't end there, isn't it? As the baby is growing, they also need support. They need for a parent to show up when they're playing sports, when they're doing games at school, collection of reports. There are parents that get so busy that they neglect these things. They think they are little things, yet they mean so much to the child. And I just want to say that, children are so aware. Children are so aware. They notice things. We may sometimes think that it's just a young child. They don't know what they're doing. They can't see anything. Oh, maybe next time. And the more we procrastinate with just being there for them, being available for them, being there to support them, the more they kind of develop a resentment and a sense of detachment, because mom is always too busy, dad is too busy for me. He's always doing meetings, trips, traveling, and the only thing he gives us is money. So he's not really a dad, he's not a father. And he just thinks that money is parenting, and that's not all there is to being a parent. So sometimes we just gotta get a bit closer to our children. Is very, very, very important. It's so important. So if you have a comment, please just let me know you're here, and just comment and let me know. So the children that grow up to be quite angry because these necessary elements that come into parenting were missing as they were growing up. They never got the chance to be loved, nurtured, to be made to feel special, to be told how much they're loved, to be told how special they are, that in this world there is no child like them. So another thing that parents need to be aware of, that a child needs parents for, is for guidance. Children need parents for guidance. Guidance. Children have to be shown how to navigate life. They have to be shown how to navigate through life, or else they'll miss it. They can miss it if care is not taken. Okay, so they're making a lot of mistakes, and sometimes they may not even be able to recover from those mistakes. When a child is, hello, watcher on Facebook, please comment so I know you're here. Comment and just say hey. So, children need parents for guidance. There should be a role model that guides the child into the right path. The Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are grown, they will not depart from it. You see, so this training is guidance in essence. Remember, a child will be entrusted to you by God, and parenting is a ministry. Parenting is a ministry, okay? It's a calling. You really got to take this seriously. It's a form of ministry. So you just have this life that is entrusted into your hands. You know that this child cannot fend for itself, cannot do anything for itself. So you're responsible. It's like you've been given a blank canvas and you get to write, you get to draw, you get to imprint things on it, designs, textures, give it character, give it beauty, beautify it, take good care of it. So that's pretty much how it is in essence with parents and children. So I believe parents are also very accountable one day to say, I gave you children, what did you do with them? Why did you let these kids do this or be like this? Or why were you negligent? Why this? Why that? So we have to learn to take responsibility for the lives that are entrusted in us, in our hands, actually, which are the lives of our children. So a child needs guidance. You need to show them how to navigate through life. What are relationships about? How do you navigate through relationships? Relationships are different. They should learn that. What kind of love do you invest in your family versus the love for a so-called girlfriend or boyfriend? What kind of investment are you to make in people, different people that are coming into your life? How do you classify them? Even your own friends, they may not be the same in terms of the kind of energy and investment you make, even though you love people. So it's very important to guide a child, or else they can miss it and they can make mistakes. They are vulnerable when there's no guidance. They can just be led astray by external influences from the home, by even entertainment, media, television, and so on and so forth. So it's good just to be able to guide your children. Okay, so train them up in the way that they should go, and when they're old, do not depart from it. And this thing of training them up in the way that they should go has to start when they're a child. You don't wait until the person is a grown-up man. You don't wait until a person is 30, a whole grown-up woman, and you say, now you're training them. So, you know what? I forgot to tell you, those days when you're still young, I forgot to teach you that that's not how you talk to parents. I forgot to teach you your manners. I forgot to teach you how to deal with your husband, how to relate with people. At this time, mom and dad, in Setswana we have a saying, "Lorilo jwalo sa lenye." This means that you can only train a child. A child is the most teachable when they're very young, because otherwise they just become rigid, and they're very flexible when they're very young, and when they're older they're just too rigid and hard to teach. So yes, children need guidance, otherwise they may miss it in life, and they may be exposed to the wrong influence. Hello watcher on Facebook, please comment, let me know you're here. You can also catch me on YouTube if you want to see me live, because on Facebook I'm just audible. I'm not showing my face, and there's a reason for that, guys. I'll tell you very soon. But for now, on Facebook, we're going to be streaming with just audio. So the good thing about it is you can just put your device by the bedside and listen to me. Thank you so much for coming. Please share the broadcast, and let somebody know we're live and we're talking about why children need parents. It can be very devastating for a child to grow up without parents. It can be very devastating for a child to grow up without one parent, even if the parent is alive. It's one of the most heartbreaking things any child can go through. I've been there myself. It's by testimony. So I know. But God is the Father of all. He's our benefactor, you guys. So yeah, we have to have them guided. A lot of the time when children are devoid of guidance and love, just the basic element of love in the house, this is how they become delinquent, because they get desperate for this love, for this attention, and they turn to the wrong things. They start to do some very funny things for attention. Some get into crime, drug abuse, drug lording, and things like that. Some even into prostitution. Like a young lady can be led into prostitution because of absent parents that were just never active and available in their life. And this is why when we meet people, we shouldn't judge them. When you meet a prostitute, when you meet a guy in the prison yard, don't judge them, because you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know what caused them to be in this situation. You really don't know. So it's best not to judge anybody for any reason at all. The thing is to at least try and establish why this person is in this position. So that's the problem. When children are not guided, they can miss it, and sometimes they make mistakes that they may never recover from. They may end up in the wrong company. The wrong company may lead to prison. The wrong company may lead to lifelong imprisonment, because things were wrong at the foundation, which was when they were a child, with regard to parenting. Hello, Watcher, please comment so I know you're here. We're talking about why children need parents. Is very, very, very important. And then another reason why children need parents, I believe, is for governance. Children need governance. Okay, we've already established that from the time a child is born, they need to be nurtured, because they cannot do anything to themselves. They do not know how to take care of themselves. They are not responsible for their own lives. So now when it comes to governance, it just means that a child has to be under somebody's custody until they are of age. They are supposed to be under custody of their parents until they are old enough to take care of themselves, to fend for themselves, until they are responsible, which is a time in their life where they are now considered to be mature adults. That's when now they can take good care of themselves. So governance, 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 when children are stripped of governance by parents from a very, very young age, it can have some adverse effects on them. Okay, yeah, yeah. It's very heavy. It's a very heavy thing when a child is stripped of parents and the governance element of parenting. They are uh, they become by the time they become mothers and fathers, they themselves don't even know how to navigate. You see, because you cannot do more than what you know. You only perform to the level of your knowledge. So once you're a parent and you've never been parented well yourself, it means you don't really know how to be a good parent, and this is just gonna spread to your children. And this is something that we really don't want to happen. So when children don't have parents, it becomes heavy on them. When children are stripped of the governance of parents, the caretaking of parents, they can they can actually be left to become the mothers and fathers to themselves, or they can be forced into being the mothers and fathers and caretakers of their siblings. Have you seen how heavy that is? Imagine a child whose parents are both dead, they are gone, and this is an orphan, and maybe they have like younger siblings, and they have to start fending for those siblings from a very young age. Imagine a young girl is a teenager and she has to be a mother. That is too heavy, because it's not yet time. They're not ready psychologically, mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally to bear the burden. So it's very, very heavy. Hello, watcher. Please just comment so I know you're here. Just comment so that I know you are here. Uh, um, 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 um. Just comment so that I know that you are actually here. I'm gonna share a link. Okay, I'm gonna share a link so that you guys can you can come on in if you like. Let me know what you guys think. I am hoping that Facebook people are also commenting. It's just that I can't really see it right now. I don't know why they are so afraid of me so far, but I'm building momentum with my Facebook family. because I only started going live on Facebook recently, so I think that's still getting the hang of it. And very soon, guys, you Facebook fam, I'll be showing my face, so don't worry. So yeah, you guys, but it becomes heavy when children have to just kind of fend for themselves, or when they're stripped of this guidance element. This is why the Bible says, for this reason shall a man leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one. The Bible says, this for this reason shall a man leave. The Bible does not say, for this reason shall a boy leave. For this reason shall a teenager leave. For this reason shall an adolescent leave. No, it says a man. So when the Bible is talking about a man, the Bible is referring to somebody who is mature, who's gone through process, who's gone through transitioning from boyhood into manhood. The person that is responsible, and ready to take on responsibility for another life. You cannot take responsibility for another life when you're not responsible for yourself yet. You cannot be a parent when you are not responsible for yourself. You cannot take over the responsibility of being a husband when you don't know how to be responsible for yourself. So that's what God says, for this reason shall a man leave. It's a man. It's going to be somebody who's grown up, who understands what responsibilities are, the duties of a home, the duties of a marriage, the duties of being a parent, what it means to be a parent, that anything that happens in that house is money. Apparently, we money, poo poo, money, poo poo. When the baby poops, is diapers. When the baby pees, is diapers. Diapers are money. Whenever the toilet is being flushed in that house, no matter who's using it, it's money. It's money. You see how it is? It's money. So regardless of who is using the restroom or who is doing what, this man has to understand that any activity that goes on in the house when he's a married man, it's money. And he has to be in a position to provide and to take care of the family, make sure that their needs are met and they're all doing well in a holistic manner. So it's quite heavy being a man. I can appreciate that. So shout out to you guys, you husbands and fathers, our men out there. I can really appreciate that. It's not easy at all, at all. But with this being said, I just want to say, we've talked about nurturing, we've talked about guidance, we've talked about governance. This is why I believe, and these are the reasons I know so far to justify myself when I say every child needs parents, and two parents for that matter. They need both parents in the house, not one parent. Okay. And so I just want to remind us that the Bible says children are a heritage from the Lord. When you have a child, it's a privilege and it's a heritage. It's something to be happy about, to be proud of. Don't be ashamed of having your child. No matter the situation in which you had that child, doesn't matter if it was a product of rape, it doesn't matter what was going on. Remember that children are a heritage from the Lord. The fact that the Lord allowed that child to come into this world is a privilege and an honor. So it doesn't matter what happened, okay? So your child is a blessing. Do your best to be a blessing as well. Do your best to be the greatest parent ever. Invest in knowledge. Invest in knowledge. Invest in knowledge. Pursue personal development as a parent is so important. Remember also the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart. So let's remember that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Everything that we do out of the fear of God, it means that now we are applying wisdom. We have the necessary and relevant wisdom to navigate through it. And so parenthood is no exemption. Anytime you're a parent, remember to apply the fear of the Lord so that the wisdom of God will enable you and equip you to raise your children the right way and in the way that they should go. It's not automatic that a parent will know the way that a child ought to go, but the parent has to get with God. Fear God for yourself, have God in your life, and God will help you to become the best parent possible. So that's one of the things also. The Bible also says, spare a rod and spoil a child. So part of training a child up in the way they should go is being able to discipline them. It takes boldness, it takes firmness as a parent to be able to discipline your children. Don't be ignoring your child doing some wayward things when they're young, because there's no how you're ever going to get them out of them when they're older. So it's better you train them as soon as possible and as young as they may be, that, hey, this is not how we do things, this is not how we do things. Be polite, be nice, respect people, respect adults, say please and thank you, say yes ma'am, say yes sir, be polite, things like that. When a child learns them, etiquette, just general etiquette, when the child learns them from a young age, they grow up with this and it never departs from them. Okay, and they grow up to be well-rounded citizens and adults, and you can be proud of that, I can assure you. Whereas if you don't make the investment, if you are negligent about being a parent, is, if you make that bed, you're gonna have to lie in it tomorrow because you're investing in an irresponsible, immature adult, and you really don't want to be associated with that tomorrow, but it's gonna come right back and bite you. Okay, the Bible also speaks to children and says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, so that your days may be long. And this is the commandment with promise. So it's very, very, very important that children learn to honor their parents as well and to respect their parents, because being a parent is not an easy thing. Like I said, it's not automatic that people know how to be parents. It takes the grace of God, it takes the wisdom of God, and parents have the right to continue to grow in knowledge, to develop themselves so that they can become the best parents ever. Okay, the best possible parents that they could be to their children. So I think with that being said, I have exhausted my I've exhausted I've exhausted my presentation tonight on why children need parents. I hope this was helpful to you. Please subscribe to my channel if you're new to here. Subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Okay, thank you so much. Remember to hit the bell button on, so you know when I upload new videos, you'll be notified. And if you're with me on Facebook for the very first time, please just follow me, like, and also just turn the bell on also, so that you know when there's new when there's new uploads. Yeah, as well as when I plan to go live, because I think I just don't want to leave the Facebook family behind anymore. So thank you. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate being here. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you so much. With this being said, I think we have come to the end of the segment. If there's no questions, if there's no contributions or comments, then I think we're good to go. I think we're good to go. Remember that I have the FifiRich Bold Black makeup brush set. I do my makeup with my brush set, you guys, like 99% of the time. So you want to get with it. It's an all-inclusive brush set with face brushes, eye brushes, and lip brushes. And the brushes are multifunctional as well. So that's what I love about them. They're universal and multifunctional. Universal in the sense that any skin type, any skin texture, skin tone can use these brushes. So I love them. You can also book me for a makeup consultation if you want to get your face beat done. You can also just reach out to me. You can also reach out for some personal branding tips also, and also for skincare, some skincare education. And if you're looking for makeup tutorials, simple beginner-friendly makeup tutorials, check me out on YouTube, FifiRich, so that you can access them. My makeup artistry speaks to beginners. Sorry, my makeup artistry speaks to beginners when it comes to makeup. And people that just say, hey, I know a little bit, but I want to advance, I want to enhance my makeup skill, I want to own my makeup game and take it to the next level. And my makeup artistry also speaks to people that are on a budget, generally people that want to look and feel good but don't really have so much money. So yeah, get with me, you guys. I think we will do so well together. I love you guys all, and I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much, and bye for now.